for the relationship to have all this build and then fall flat would be devastating. These are the joys of my life.
You want to say hi to the class?
Reading's going better, but my life gets worse. That's not a good vlog. All right, it's time to start another reading vlog. And this time around, I don't really have a good plan. We're going to be doing a little freestyling, a little bit of off-roading. I have, after consulting you all and abandoning all my other vlog ideas, decided that because I've been in such a terrible kind of like slump slash just can't seem to pick a book that really engages me lately, that I really need to just find my love of reading again and really just focus on finding books that I'm really enjoying. Now, thankfully, I think I'm going to have a little bit of help from not only my pace of life slowing down, and also a bunch of my favorite authors are releasing new books. So I have a feeling that's going to help me out quite a bit, because truly it really has just been my inability to pick a book that I can enjoy. Like, it really is a mood issue. It's me not connecting to these books. Like I said, there's God tier books that I've had in the midst of just a sea of DNFs. I'm pretty excited because there are so many new releases from some of my favorite authors, so we're definitely going to be tackling a couple of them. We might have a bit of a wild card at the end, but right now my plan is to read Velella by C.W. Farnsworth. That released earlier this week. Sam from Sam Reads a Little is already done with it, so I have to catch up with her. That one's like a mafia romance, which C.W. Farnsworth hasn't done in a while. It's supposed to be like a Romeo and Juliet secret identity. I'm really excited to get to that one. I also really love the cover on this one. So that's the first book that I'm for sure going to at least attempt to tackle. The next one is Two Wrongs by Sam Mariano. I'm gonna put this one second because although I really want to read it, I just got done with Boy on the Bridge, so we need to give it a little bit of space. This one, the heroine has been seeking justice and she's grown really frustrated that she's not really getting anywhere, and the perpetrator's twin brother ends up stepping in and gonna help her get a different ending to her story, help her get a little bit of justice. So that one has me really intrigued just because it's not a very tropey premise. Also, Nikki from Nikki and Bookland has already read that one. So once again, I gotta play catch up with my friends. So that's why that one's going second. Now, third is a little bit of a wild card. So initially I was hoping to read Fewer Saints by KV Rose because that I had seen on Valentine PR's calendar to release the same day as Two Wrongs. However, there's no book. It's not listed on Amazon, and I haven't seen anything from Valentine PR, and I haven't seen anything from KV Rose about the release getting pushed back. So I don't think that that's coming. I know that she's been pushing back a lot of release date. This one has been pushed back a number of times. We've been getting indications that we're supposed to get that since like February, March or something like that. It's been a while. So I'm not too hopeful that that one's going to come out. That also leaves me in a bit of a predicament. So I don't know if I'm going to pick up another new release, but we'll kind of see what mood I'm in once I get to that point. So I am going to be kicking things off with Velella. I'm really excited about that one just because, like I said, C.W. Farnsworth has not had a mafia romance in a really long time. I loved Pretty Ugly Promises. I just love how much time she spends in the heads of her characters, and her mafia romances have a like realistic grit to it rather than this kind of like overly glamorized feel. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I really want to get to that one. I also, did I already say this? I love the cover. So I think I'm actually going to get to quite a bit of reading this weekend because I actually have like kind of a balanced weekend. Like I've got plans, but they're relaxed. So it's Seafair weekend here in Seattle. So it's been really nice today. So I'm going to take advantage and do date night with my husband, which I'm going to get ready for like right after filming this clip. So I won't have any updates for you today. And then Saturday we might go paddleboarding with friends, question mark. It kind of depends on the weather. We want to watch the Blue Angels do their flyover, but it completely depends on the weather. So we'll see. If not, that's a free day for reading. So I might have an update for you Saturday. If we do end up going paddleboarding, it probably won't be until Sunday after my husband's race. That's another chunk of time that I'm going to have plenty of time to read. I'm excited. I don't know how updates will go this weekend, but I know that I'm going to have a nice relaxed pace of life, which has been very unlike what I've been dealing with for the past couple of months. So I'm going to enjoy it while I got it. But let's get going with Velella, and I will update you probably in a couple days. All right, see you soon. Okay, hi. So we have a bit of a good news, bad news situation. It's Saturday now. Bad news is honestly only for me. I'm not going paddleboarding today. Boo! I haven't really been able to paddleboard much this summer, so that's really disappointing. The weather is just absolutely not cooperating. It's really windy, and I've had some bad experiences on a paddleboard. While it was windy. Highly do not recommend because although I had the fitness to paddle myself back, oh boy, did I not have the patience. We're going to avoid paddleboarding in the wind. So the good news is that I've actually gotten a decent way into this book. And you guys, oh my God, leave it to C.W. Farnsworth to hook me right away. There is a huge detail that she left out of the blurb. And I was like, oh my God. Was really effective at sucking me in right away. I'm just realizing that I did not tell you what this book is about. Should I do that? Because that would be probably pretty helpful. Okay, let's do that. Back up, rewind. Sorry, folks. Velella by C.W. Farnsworth. Our heroine's name is Karina. Oh, someone wants to join. Hold on.
Do you want to say hi to the glass?
Oh my God, now I have so much cat hair on my face. Ugh. The things I do for you. Anyways, so Kevin's gonna be running around on the counter. This is the lesser of the two evils because otherwise he'd lick my feet. And that's gross. Moving on. So, Karina, she's our heroine. She's been living in Chicago away from her Italian or Sicilian mafia family. She was kind of stowed away for safekeeping protection. And during her time as like a normal person, kind of like secret identity so that no one comes after her because of her associations with the mafia. And she's during the present day timeline, she has become a renowned violinist and she is in the Chicago symphony or orchestra. Those have to be different things. I'm realizing I don't know the difference between those two. And we press on. So anyways, she's in one of those playing violin. Awesome. Love that for her. So sometime in her past, through a very convoluted series of events, end up running into a guy by the name of Lev. And she figures out pretty quickly he is the son of someone who's really high up in the Russian Bratva. So she's like, I gotta keep my identity super secret because I like this guy and I really want to continue to hang out with him. He's kind of the only person that makes her feel like a normal girl. And so they've had sort of this, I don't want to call it on again, off again relationship because that's not really what it is. He just kind of hits her up when he's in Chicago. And that's been kind of the extent of their relationship for the past 12 years. Marina's life is about to change pretty dramatically. She ends up having to go back to Sicily and there learns about a decision that her father's made that sends her running. She feels very betrayed by her father. So she is in Europe on the run. The beginning of C.W. Farnsworth books are always so interesting because she kind of chucks you in. You're kind of like looking around, like trying to figure out what's going on. And so although there's not a very fast pace to this beginning portion, it's quite slow because you're learning about the present, you're learning about how they met, you're learning about their families. There's a lot that kind of has to get organized before the actual plot itself can get going. It's still really propulsive. Like I can't stop reading this book. I don't want to put it down.
I can't stop having wine.
I don't even want to be giving this update right now. Being totally honest, I'd rather be reading. The experience of reading this book is like constantly being over caffeinated. I'm getting little drips, little hints at what this book is going to be, at what it's going to become. And I'm like, I need a full glass of water right now. A bitch is thirsty. That was more aggressive than it needed to be. But I think you understand what I'm saying. It's moving slow, but also not at the same time. And I think part of what's really working, despite the fact that we're coming into a pre-existing relationship, they're also, because of their identities, not able to be super open and honest with one another. Although they really like each other, they like the personality, they like the person, they know almost nothing about each other's families, about what they do for a living. And so they're constantly just holding each other at arm's length. So there's so much they need to learn about each other. So there is just kind of this longing, this melancholy to the beginning that I just find really intriguing because they can't be super vulnerable with each other just yet. But I feel like it's coming. I feel like it's coming because the plot is really taking off where I'm at. Oh, and then one last thing. CW is not like glamorizing mafia life too much. I feel like she's taking the deaths very seriously, the danger that they're in very seriously. And so it just has like a little bit more of a realistic feel than I think some other books that are set in the mafia. I want to get back to reading, so I'm going to go do that. I will continue reading and update you at some point when I have time and when I feel like it. See you soon. Excuse my very bedraggled appearance. I just got done working out, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about Velella because I know the beginning was kind of slow, but the thing that's been fun about the present timeline is that the plot keeps changing direction, and it's been really interesting to see Karina have to get savvy very quickly with the mafia ways, because as things take off, she's been so sheltered prior to this that she is having to learn very quickly how to take care of herself, how to be on the run, how to shoot a gun. She is having to figure out how to use and dispense information in a very strategic way that she just really hasn't had to do because she's just been, little orchestra nerd for most of her life. Right now, I'm just loving that they have these little moments of familiarity and this clear comfort with one another, even if they can't really have very open conversations. Like, they just have so many secrets that they really have to hold close, especially with being from rival mafia families. But just seeing how much they do have clear care and loyalty and understanding of one another is really sweet. And I think it makes the fact that, like, I don't know what this HEA or what their future looks like really nerve-wracking, because Lev will do anything for her. Like, if it means that he doesn't get to be in her life, he will sacrifice that for her to be happy. And right now, unless one of them really changes their mind about what they want their future to look like, I don't know how they're going to end up together. So that's a little bit upsetting, but it's a romance, so eventually love obviously will come around. And I'm kind of hoping, because Karina seems to really be going through quite some big growth spurts right now, that I'm hoping it's her, because I kind of like where I think this might be headed. But then who knows? Because honestly, as I said, the plot has changed so much. So who knows where it's going? What are these crazy kid's gonna get up to next? Yeah, that's all I have to say. Anyways, I am going to get this nasty sweaty mug off this camera because yikes, you guys don't deserve this. I will chat with you hopefully when I'm in a much less sweaty state very soon. Okay, hi. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Hopefully you can't hear the fan because I just realized that's still on and I'm too lazy to go fix this situation. Oh, guys, this clump of cat hair is on my sweatshirt the entire clip, and I just needed you to know that I know, even though I didn't know it at the time, I know now because I'm editing and I hate it. I'm sorry for everyone's eyeballs. So don't look at that and just listen to the words that I have to say about Velella, because yay, that's at least good. I'm now 75% into Velella, and guys, I'm getting really nervous. Sorry, the gremlin just came out. So I know that I mentioned earlier that because they have a lot of their lives built on secrets, they're not super open with one another, and how they reveal information, who they reveal it to, has to be really intentional. But I'm getting a little bit worried because we're not really getting a good conversation between hero and heroine. They're still holding a lot back from one another. They are starting to kind of reflect on the relationship in their own minds just because they haven't really had time to process it, because there's been a lot of threats against them. There's been a lot just with both of their families being in the mafia. So we are getting some moments of familiarity, and you can tell that they know each other better than the people around them, including their own families. You are getting little tender actions and moments, but it's not being combined with a sense that they're really open to one another. And it's really making me nervous that that's not coming, because I just feel like so much of this could be solved with a conversation that doesn't get interrupted, or one of them doesn't have some sort of emotional outburst or redirect. Now, I'm 75% in. There's still a lot of book for that to happen. So I'm really hoping this last 25% really does something, because honestly, I was kind of caught off guard by the fact that I was that far into the book. I genuinely, in my heart of hearts, was like, maybe I'm like 60% in. Oh, we don't have a lot of book left, and we got some shit to take care of. Because I love so much about this book that I'm like, for the relationship to have all this build and then fall flat would be devastating. I'm going to continue reading. I shall soldier on and chat with you soon. And just to balance some things out, here's a precious baby boy sleeping on my decorative pillows like a monster. Oh, it's a good thing he's cute. Anyways, I really am going to leave you. Hey, divas. So I'm going to be so honest. I do not remember the last time that I updated you. This week has gotten away from me. So I'm in a bit of a scramble. I am trying to prep for family to come into town for a little bit of a long weekend, which means I'm taking some time off of work, which means I'm having to work ahead at work. And then also I need to host people. So I'm cleaning my house, getting groceries. And then Kevin, who we saw sneak through the frame earlier, he keeps barfing everywhere. So I will clean something and then have to go re-clean it because he's now barfed on it. So these are the joys of my life at the present time. Huzzah! Did need to come on camera though, despite the fact that I look like this. It's so hot, guys, and I'm cleaning my house. So like there was truly no hope for my face, but even worse, there's a little bit of humidity in the air. And so my hair is beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. My hair just, it loves humidity. And by that, I mean, it hates it. The second humidity touches my hair, it grows up and out and not down anymore. It's kind of a nightmare, but I also cannot be bothered to fix it because again, it's hot as fuck. So we're just going to proceed looking, looking how I look. But anyways, now that I've rambled, I finished Velella. Either yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't even remember at this point. But I did finish it. And remember how in the last clip I was kind of panicking? So I was like, I kind of feel like this is missing some emotional beats that I really need for this relationship to feel satisfying. Guys, I had to read one more chapter. Like I just didn't trust the process. And I really should have trusted CW to take care of me. And I did not. Sir, excuse you, this is just beyond rude. Oh my God. Oh my God. My camera doesn't even like me anymore. My camera likes you too much. You have to go on my lap at least. Okay. So anyways, after I got that conversation and had them open up a little bit more where they're like, this is what I want. This is what my future to look like. And this is me being fully vulnerable. I really looked back at that prior 25%. I was like, oh my God, there was so much that was done with the relationship that was just a lot more subtle and just done through action. And while, yes, I still would have loved to see more strides sooner, maybe a bit sooner in the relationship, there was strides that I just wasn't seeing at the time because I was so desperate for that conversation. And thank God they finally had that conversation because like I needed that. I really needed that to feel solid about their relationship and feel like these two are not in this like tenuous place that can be broken through any minor misunderstanding that might come their way. Yeah, there's just a lot more done through action, especially on Lev's part. You know, he's really got a mask on because of the position that he's in within the mafia, and he likes the position, and it's not as if he's not this person with the mask, but at the same time has more limited avenues for expressing how he feels about someone. And really what he ended up doing was showing that he cares and respects her through his action. He was like, I'm going to give you the skills to be able to protect yourself. Here is money so you never have to worry about supporting yourself. I'm even going to keep myself distant so that you feel like you always have options and that I haven't forced my way into your life in this vulnerable moment. I love a hero like Lev. Like so many of my favorite book boyfriends are this type of guy. They've got this stoic mask. They don't let a lot of people in emotionally, and they just have this ability to inspire loyalty from the people around them because of what he does for them, because he makes sure that they are able to go home to their loved ones, their wives, their girlfriends, their kids. It reminds me so much of like Graydon from Firebird Chronicles or Kier from War Prize, or like Mercy from Fearless. I think this honestly is also like this type of hero is why I like a barbarian warlord type, is because they are so feared. They are so tough. They're so unflappable. No matter what gets thrown at them, they figure out how to navigate it. They make everyone else around them feel secure in the direction that they're going and the strategy that they have. And yet they will do anything, sacrifice anything for their lady. They just have trouble talking about it sometimes because that is their one weakness and they cannot in their position show weakness. I love a hero with a commanding presence and that demands respect, and not because it's like, well, you looked at my girl wrong and so I slaughtered you in that over the top way either. Like, don't get me wrong, that's fun, but like there's something about a hero that has proven himself as intelligent, as strategic, but also someone that is not to be fucked with, that is just like endlessly hot. Anyways, like I really talked a lot about the hero. I also really liked the heroine. The heroine was awesome. She is so adaptable and she really takes stock of what she finds important, of what she wants out of life. She's always willing to kind of reevaluate of like, okay, I've got new information and the circumstances have changed. How do I survive and thrive best in this scenario? And she finds a way to ingratiate herself into mafia type groups in a way that is completely different from how Lev does it. And so they feel very complimentary because they both feel like they they belong. I did really like too that the title actually does get explained. Sometimes I find stuff like this like a little bit corny and try hard, but this was like the best version of it because it felt poetic and I don't know, it just like it fit the characters so well. It made you reflect on not only the heroine and how she just gets pushed around by the family, the mafia, but also you really realize how much that's also true for the hero. It's just not as obvious because he's more ingrained in mafia life than she was. I just love that they're like one big rebellious act is choosing each other. And then also with the ending, I don't know, this ending was just like, I felt like so perfect and yet I could use more. I'll explain. I loved that there was a lot of relationships that were damaged over the course of the book. And the book ends in this place where it's not like people are completely healed and they're like, and now we're BFFs and tell each other everything. Or that people were completely written off and they're like, they're dead to me. They really make a lot of strides towards like repair and understanding and forgiveness. There's a chance for all of these relationships to heal. But it's not just like instantly solved once someone explains their one choice. Like there was still damage caused to another person because of those choices. I'm trying to be so vague. Hopefully this is coming across okay. I don't know. I feel like that is a lot more realistic instead of just like, yay, everyone loves each other again. It just ended in the perfect way. But it's also strange because although I'm like, this is the perfect conclusion for this book, but also I'm like, if CW was like, oh, by the way, I'm turning this into a series, I would not be mad at it. There are places and directions that these characters could go. And I feel like she has a lot of couples that are actually like that, which is part of the reason I like her books so much is that you feel like they're real people that are still on a journey. Part of their life has wrapped up, but like they continue on. If she has a short story, a novella, a deleted scene with this couple, like I will be gobbling that up. I need to get myself a paperback. Like me and Sam from Little are stalking Amazon right now, trying to figure out when those bad boys come in stock because I really need one of these for my shelf because I love this cover and I love this couple. And I know I said it earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. It was like being overly caffeinated. Like my skin was buzzing. I was scrambling for any little drop. I just wanted more. It was like hard to focus on work. It was hard to want to do anything else. One thing to note that I don't even know how to explain, but the spice in this was different. So a lot of the scenes were like a lot of setup, but then kind of fade to black at some point. There was full open door scenes, but where they were located and how they were done was very different. I don't know that I'm explaining this very well as I'm listening to myself say these words, but where they happened wasn't necessarily where I would have liked them. So I don't know. It didn't have the same feel in the spice department as some of her other books. So just be forewarned, there's a lot of fade to black scenes, but there are some open door scenes. And then, like I said, be prepared for this to be a lot more subtle. This isn't about big declarations of love. This isn't about people explicitly clarifying their choices or desires. This is about two people really in their heads trying to figure out how do they navigate these situations and this relationship and also come out with their relationship intact. I just really want to emphasize that because I think that this is so good. This is so good, but it's going to feel different. Random other thing that I need to say because it did bother me while I was reading this book. At one point they lose millions of dollars. Like no one seemed to care. And I was like, can we go back? Now that we've solved some of these issues, can we go back and go see if we can find it? Because I feel like that's a lot of money to just be writing off. Like I know we've got a lot and everything, but like in this economy, maybe we should go back and try and find it. I still think about that actually, like more than I should. Anyways, obviously this is a 5-star, no question. And my hair, I need to stop touching it because I am making it so much more worse. That's not how you say that. Whatever. Okay. I'm delusional from the heat. I'm gonna get going because I have so much more house to clean. And by that, I need to clean up a lot of cat puke. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be able to update you on Two Wrongs by Sam Mariano because I am going to start that. My family arrives early tomorrow and I just don't know how much I'm going to get read and be able to update you on. So maybe I'll update you when they get gone. That's not how you say that. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to read either. I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we find out. Cut to me in the next clip. Bye, divas. Okay, hi. So I'm a little shocked that I'm giving you this update because I am now like 25% into two wrongs. It's like the next morning. I read last night and this morning, and I'm literally waiting for the text from my parents to go pick them up from the airport. But I wanted to give you my initial thoughts because so much has happened already. I don't want to give too much away beyond what the blurb says because I think this is one of those that's best if you just don't know that much going in, but definitely check triggers. Right at the beginning, you are already getting stuff that is very heavy because when the book opens, the heroine has been dealing with the justice system having failed her over the past year. The perpetrator was a fellow classmate by the name of Tim Walters, and she has been for over a year trying to seek justice. She didn't get any. There's not only been frustration with that because of the power and money imbalance there, but also socially, she's just been failed by so many people. She's really been ostracized. And she's feeling a little bit reckless the night that the book opens. And that's where Tor comes in because he wants to give her story a different ending. Okay, well, this beautiful freeze frame and voiceover is brought to you by the fact that I am so smart, SMRT. Definitely forgot a massive detail that does change the scope of this book. Direction, the feeling. Tim and Tor are twins. That's a lot of T's, but it is information that I must dispense in that way because I don't know how else to say it because it's just a lot of T's involved. Okay, whatever. You know what? Let's get back to it. But there is a caveat. There's a catch to this. She has to do everything that he says. He is in control of this situation. And at first, the heroine enjoys it and wants to play along, but then she realizes things are even more twisted than she ever expected. I haven't gotten to any of the twisty bits just yet, but whoa, does this start out heavy? Just because the heroine is really dealing with so much. I already have some ideas of how things will get twisty and turny, not only because of the blurb, but just because of like how things have already been set up and what's already happened. But yeah, it does have a lot of different commentary about justice, who gets ahead in the world. The heroine is already really having to compromise a lot of her morals in order to get ahead right now. And she's really, really struggling with that, which I think is a lot different than some of other Sam's heroines who have such a strong backbone about what is right and wrong, and they refuse to bend for the hero initially, and she's having to bend to the hero pretty immediately because he just demands so much from her. But it's done in a way where she was like, this is also for me. This is for my peace of mind, my self-preservation. It's been very interesting to see that happen so quickly up front, because that's usually something that Sam takes her time and breaks down more over time, and the heroine bends and bends and bends and bends and bends until she doesn't even realize how much she's departed from the person that she was. Sam Mariano is still using tummy, although she does use stomach at one point. I know there's a couple of us that have a bone to pick with that word, so unfortunately I must report that that trend continues. Also, this bitch is always drinking water. It is like blowing my mind how much water this bitch is drinking. Like, there is always a water bottle. She's asking for water. She's brought water with her.
Stop it. Get some help.
And this is coming from someone who has a 64-ounce Stanley, okay? Unabashedly, I have a carpal tunnel inducing water bottle because of the amount of water I drink. And I'm even like, bitch, stop drinking water. Also, her mom sucks. That's completely unrelated, but I hate her mother so much. And I think that's pretty much everything that I have to update you on. This has already had like a lot of twists and turns, and I'm just like kind of on the edge of my seat wanting to know where things go, what Tor's motives are, what happens next. This has me enraptured right now. But anyways, I think I just got the text that I need to go pick my parents up. So I'm gonna go do that, and I will see you in a few days probably after their visit. See you soon. All right, hi folks, good morning. So I just dropped my parents off at the airport. I didn't think I was gonna be coming to you with an update so soon, but I forget how voracious my parents read, which means that during their visit, I was also doing a lot of reading with them. So I actually got a fair distance into the book, wanted to give you an update because I think I'm over halfway. I think I'm like 65% in, something along those lines. I think if I had been able to, I would have tried to do my first update a little bit later because whoa, do things go off the rails. I'm understanding why she had that author's note in there saying, please, I just need you to trust me a little bit. And the thing that I really like about this setup is that it shows that the hero and heroine are both capable of really terrible things, and it makes them feel like they fit together a little bit more than you would initially suspect. They have vastly different reasons and different moral compasses for what they do, much like other San Mariano characters. The setup also pushes them together to be a team pretty quickly, and I think that combined with the heroine being so isolated and having to fight for herself for over a year now and not really having anyone on her side, that sense of comfort that she gets from the hero is even more intense. So their relationship really just escalates very quickly because it's like, it's you and me against the world. She's really relying on him and she doesn't have other people or outside information. It's very interesting in the way that it's written, that we're primarily in Cassie's perspective. She isn't going very many places. She isn't talking to a lot of people. She isn't even really using social media very much. And a lot of the information that she gets is through Tor. He kind of keeps things vague in certain circumstances. Sometimes it is for her benefit, but I also think it benefits him as well. And again, it does kind of make it feel like it's just the two of them. That sense of isolation pushes her towards him. It was fun having him come in as a protector and having this very intense setup where he's like, I'm gonna take care of everything. So it's like you're stressed, but you're also not at the same time, because he's like, I've got it figured out. I've got you. Don't even worry about it. And so then you, as the reader, also kind of get lulled into this relationship with her. And then you're like, oh yeah, that was kind of messed up how this all started, wasn't it? And he does test her loyalty, similar to San Mariano's other heroes. He is pretty manipulative, but I think once he kind of gets a sense that, oh, we are on the same team, he backs off, even though he does get off on her fear a little bit. He gets off on her love and devotion almost even more. But don't get it twisted, this man is ruthless. He just wants complete control over the heroine and the circumstances. The only time he seems to escalate is when things feel like they are slipping from his control. And the other interesting thing with the setup too is because we have a shared secret, they have pretty clear lines of communication very early on, which I think also makes the relationship escalate very quickly, like even more so than normal, because they don't have this like shyness or this fear of vulnerability. They're like, well, you've already seen some shit from me. So one other thing I was gonna say, this does have a lot of very interesting commentary, not just on like what kind of world we live in. Is it a just world? There's also a lot of commentary about how people respond to someone who is traumatized or going through a mental health crisis. Not to say that a person doesn't have a responsibility, but how quickly support from certain people can get pulled when they're like, well, it's fine that you're traumatized so long as it never impacts me in any way. Ooh, and then one other thing that's been really interesting about reading this back to back with Boy on the Bridge is there's little details that I've noticed this time around that are very similar. The hero usually has some sort of tie or interest in being in Boston or New York. There's usually a trip there, a plan to go to college in one of those locations, something along those lines. There's also been multiple books where there's references to Great Gatsby, particularly Daisy's character. There's also a lot of times a blue Lexus, designer bags, references to Stepford Wives, and particularly dressing up like Stepford Wives. It's kind of been a unique experience just having both of these books back to back, being able to see so many of the similarities, but also so many of the differences, because this hero and heroine definitely have a unique flavor to them. But anyways, I feel like I'm just gabbing and gabbing and gabbing about the same things right now. So I'm going to continue reading. I'm really hoping I can update you tomorrow and be done, because all I want to do is get answers, because I can feel this third act coming. I can feel how messy it's going to get. And then I also have a couple of suspicions about what I think is going on, because I think there's more manipulation on the hero's part than the heroine's even aware of right now. I don't want to get ahead of myself, so I'm going to continue reading and I will update you when I'm done. See you soon. Really good. Hi, folks. So I must apologize. I am in just truly the most foul mood right now. Thankfully, it has not really anything to do with the book, Two Wrongs by San Mariano. I did finish it. I do have some complicated feelings about it, and so we're going to treat this like a little therapy session while I work through my feelings about it, but I enjoyed it overall. My frustration is with literally everything else going on in my life. Let's start with the most trivial of them, which is that I'm trying some at-home eyelash extensions because I wanted to see if this would be a good alternative to having to pack a bunch of makeup for my trip to Budapest and Split, Croatia. And I don't like it at all. It's not only quite sticky, but it looks like I just don't know how to apply mascara. It doesn't have that like beautiful fluffy look that I was kind of hoping to achieve. And now they're on my eyeballs for the foreseeable future. So more misery to come. Huzzah. In addition to that, technology is failing me on a number of different fronts. Half my microphones aren't working for some reason. Half of my headphones aren't working for also different other reasons. But the biggest issue, which is probably going to impact this vlog, is that I don't have Wi-Fi. I am like in the middle of collecting my stuff right now to go to a coffee shop and work for the rest of the day because I'm not going to have Wi-Fi not only today, but for the foreseeable future. And because our provider was acquired by a different company, both companies are giving us the runaround. The earliest appointment I could even get was in 10 days from now. So, needless to say, I am on the verge of tears, which is really saying something as an Aries and someone who prefers anger over crying in general, but I work from home. This impacts my livelihood. I know it's kind of first world problems, but it is really frustrating to be paying for a service and not have service. Anyway, now that we have that out of the way, I've really ranted. Let's talk about Two Wrongs by Sam Mariano before I take off for the coffee shop. So I feel very complicated about this book. When I was reading it, I really enjoyed it. I like these characters, but I did kind of have to forget about some of the things that they had done in order to like them. So I like liked them in the present moment, but then I would sometimes think about the worst thing that they had done at the beginning of the book, and then I was like, oh, I'm having a hard time wanting to root for either of them. And I think if maybe there was slightly better justification for their actions, maybe I would feel a little bit better about it, because it was like the further into the book, the more complicated I felt about it. I wanted it to move the opposite direction because that would alleviate my cognitive dissonance of liking these characters, but not liking the worst thing that they've done. So that was something that I really struggled with throughout the book. And at sometimes I would kind of forget about that aspect. And so I was able to just enjoy the characters. And honestly, through most of the book, I just really enjoyed being with them. I like that the heroine was a little bit more evenly matched with the hero, although she still has that like strong sense of justice and it's very forgiving. Whereas the hero, per usual, will do anything and everything and is very obsessed. And I think his obsession in the third act did not quite play out how I feel like I really like when Sam Mariano does it, because he was more of a blunt instrument and went about things in a very direct way. And I know Sam Mariano's very good about making her heroes manipulative to the point that nobody around them is kind of clocking just how many strings they're pulling. Like, they know they're manipulative, they know something's kind of up with that character, but at the same time, like, nobody can kind of get a peek behind the curtain and see everything. This heroine was a little bit too aware of what was going on behind the scenes, and so it made the third act resolving, I think, not feel as satisfying, because it was her basically just coming to accept things. I just feel like I needed different justification for things. I'm really trying to be vague because I truly don't want to spoil things. I think this is a book that is best experienced knowing as little as possible, but please, like I said at the beginning, check trigger warnings because that beginning portion is a lot. But yeah, so I feel kind of mixed about the ending. And I think what didn't help is that the epilogue kind of left me in this weird place. The first one, I didn't mind. I found like some aspects of it kind of corny. And then the second epilogue, I truly did not care about. It has some overlap with characters from another series that I haven't finished yet. So I was like, I don't care about these people. I do not care that they are friends. I don't care that they're having a lemonade stand and having, like, I didn't care about any of it.
Yes.
Sorry, which one?
I don't care.
And I think for me, because I hadn't read those books, I didn't need that second epilogue. In fact, I felt like it was a waste of my time. So it's hard because I feel like this book is good. This book is good, but for me, it started off so good, so intense. It was so propulsive. I think like the third act and onwards, I just kind of felt like it ended on more of like a whisper and we started with a shout. I wanted it to have something that was a little bit more conclusive and really just wrapped things up in a little bit more of a satisfying way. And I don't feel like I quite got that. Those are my final thoughts on Two Wrongs by Sam Mariano. I I think I'm gonna cut things off here. I was going to search for another book, but it's kind of hard to download a book when you don't have internet. It's not where I want to leave things. This vlog just feels like kind of a mess, to be honest. I was only able to film so intermittently and at weird periods. Vlog just doesn't feel right. I feel okay though about leaving things here. The whole point of this video was to try and get my spark back for reading and just read some authors that I loved, and I was able to do that. And I enjoyed both books so much. I found both of them incredibly propulsive. They're my favorite authors for a reason. Hold on, the baby wants to come up. Okay, so he's just gonna be running around, I guess, and putting his whiskers in the camera. So I did get my spark for reading back, and hopefully it means that it's kind of reset my mood and I'm able to pick up more books and enjoy them instead of being so incredibly picky like I've been. But yeah, thanks for being here. Sorry this is kind of ending on a bummer without a super satisfying conclusion, but I really appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully some of this was enjoyable, even though I enjoyed the books, but I'm leaving it feeling a little bit miserable. Oh, that's disappointing. Reading's going better, but my life gets worse. That's not a good vlog. Anyways, I really do have to get going. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know if you've read any of these new releases. Let me know what books have been working for you. Don't forget to interact or like the video in some capacity. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it when you do. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really love to have you back on other videos. So I really, really, really do hope I see you on my next video. Bye-bye.